Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Inqilab Patel, your CompSci teacher. This is our second lesson in the section of object-oriented programming. We have already studied what is meant by object-oriented programming, what are the features. Today we will write down pseudocode and Python program for the object-oriented programming. Here we have an example. Suppose there is a class students, and in this class we have three attributes. The attributes are roll number, name, and marks. We have already studied that the attributes in the object-oriented class tag are private. Then we have some functions and procedures. The function and procedure which are used in class definition are known as methods. And all the methods are public, means these can be accessed outside the class definition. The first method is known as constructor. We cannot create an object without a constructor in the class diagram, class definition. To create an object, we use a word instantiate. So firstly, we will write down the pseudocode to define this class, and then we convert the pseudocode in programming statements using Python programming. We are asked to write down. So firstly, we will write down the pseudocode for class definition. We use a keyword class, and then we give an identifier to the class, that is student. Then we declare variables which are known as attributes. The variables in the class are roll number, name, and marks. So we will declare them as private. So we will write down private roll number, suppose it stores integer value, or you may use a string, suppose. Then private name string, then private marks real. Then we will define the methods. Methods are basically functions and procedures. The first method is constructor. Sometimes we use a name new. New is also used as identifier of the constructor of constructor. Both are used. And we are passing a parameter roll number, and this is and it will store this roll number in this attribute. Suppose we are passing here Rn, and to set name we are passing n, and to set marks we are passing marks n. In this constructor we will pass Rn, and this Rn will be stored in roll number. Basically, roll number is private and we cannot access it outside the class definition. We have an encapsulated roll number in the class, and we will use this constructor to store value in roll number. So we will pass whatever roll number we want to store in the constructor, and constructor will store this roll number into the attribute roll number. We pass n to set name, and this n will be stored in name. We pass m to set marks, and this marks will be stored over here. It means we cannot store roll number, name, and marks without using these methods. So we will define the method. So firstly, we will use public, new, or constructor, whatever you want to use. Rn, this is string, and it will store this string in roll number, and this is n. Now, it means here we are just storing a value, and this method is not returning anything. So obviously, this is a procedure. So here we will write down end procedure. For setting name, storing name, we will use another procedure, public procedure, set name. We pass an string to it, and this procedure will store this n into name and procedure. Then procedure, public procedure, set marks, right? We will pass m as real to it. It will store this m into marks, which is a private attribute. Now, if you want to access the data item which we have stored in these attributes, we use some getters. Here we have get roll number, it will return roll number. We have get name, it will return name, and we have get marks. Get roll number, get name, get marks will return values. So we can say that these are functions, and these were procedures. Now we will use a function that is also public, function get roll number. This function will return string because roll number is string data type. Return roll number and function. Then we will define get name. Name will also return a string value, and then we use another function get marks. Get marks will return a integer value. So here we have written real. Oh, sorry, real value. So we have written, and at the end we will write down end class. Now we need to write down the program code for this. We are using PyCharm. In PyCharm, we use all keywords in small letters. So we write down class student. Acha, in PyCharm or Python, we never declare variables or attributes, but declaration of variables and attributes is basically part of our syllabus. So we declare them in comments, right? For example, I am writing hash, it represents that this is a comment. Then I will write down underscore underscore. These two leading underscores will mention that these attributes are private. To mention that the attributes are private, we use double underscore, leading double underscores. So I will write down roll number, it is string, then hash underscore underscore name string hash underscore underscore marks float. Then we define the constructor. For the constructor, for defining any function or procedure, we use def as keyword. Then we write down the name of the function procedure. Here we say method. For the constructor, we use a special identifier. This is underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Leading and trailing double underscores. These leading and trailing double underscores mention that this is a constructor. Then we open the bracket. Here we write down self. Self is a compulsory parameter which is used in object-oriented programming method definitions. And then we are passing roll number to it, so we write down RN. Then we give a colon. Here we write down, we store this roll number into the Rn into roll number. So we write down self dot underscore underscore roll number. We have studied that to mention that this identifier, this attribute is private, we use two prefixes. These are underscores. Leading underscores, double underscores as prefix will mention that this is a private attribute. And then we write down Rn2. Then we define the second method. It was set name, right? And here with set names, we write down the in every method, self is the first mandatory attribute parameter. Then we write down self dot underscore underscore name is equals to name n. Acha, we are passing n to it. Here we are passing n to it, so we will write down n. Then define set marks self comma n and then self dot underscore underscore marks will be equals to n. Right, beta. Then we need some getters, so we write down define get roll number self, and we don't have any parameter in it, so we don't write down anything other than self. And then in the next line we write down return. What to return? Self dot underscore underscore roll number. Define get name self return self dot underscore underscore name. Define get marks self return self dot underscore underscore marks. This is the definition of class in Python. Right, beta? Firstly, we have declared these attributes in comments, and all identifiers of the attributes have double underscores, leading underscores, right? Then we declare constructor. The constructor, the name of the constructor was init. We use self as a parameter, first parameter, and then we pass rn to be stored in roll number. Then we have set name, set marks, get name, get roll number, get marks. All the methods have self as first parameter. Now, if you want to create an object, creating an object is known as instantiate. If we want to create an object, we use constructor. For example, we want to create an object A2 students and store following data in it. Right? We are asked to create object student A2 students and store these data in it. In we write down A2 students to declare an object A2 students and store 101 in roll number, Abdullah in name, and 93 in marks. We use this command. We write down A2 students equals to student. The student is the name of class, and we pass the parameter which is used in constructor. Here we have used Rn. So we will pass roll number, and the roll number which are asked to store here is 101. And it is string, so we will write down 101. Then we are asked to store name Abdullah in it. To store name, we use a method self dot self name set name. So we write down A2 students dot set name Abdullah. A2 students dot set marks 93. Right? Now, we want to display the roll number, name, and class marks, so we use getters. A2 students dot get name roll number. It will give the roll number, it will return the roll number. We can print this roll number directly, or we can store this roll number in a variable. Print A2 students dot get name, right? Get roll number, print A2 students dot get marks. Then we will execute the program. It has displayed 101 Abdullah, and we can give a message to roll number equals to name equals to marks equals to roll number is one. ठीक है बेटा? This is the way that we have defined a class, instantiate an object, stored values in the object, receive values from the object, and display on a screen. That's all for today. See you next time, inshallah.